Hey Shalloners, you know what I'm going to talk about today? Sex. What specifically? Not doing it. Let's talk about being a virgin. I talked about virginity before. I have a video about how to know when it's right to lose your virginity and, things like how to answer and stuff when a guy's like, how many people have you slept with? Because guys always feel entitled to this information. Fuck out of here. But how do you feel comfortable being a virgin? How do you feel not weird? I get this question a lot, and sometimes you guys don't even realize that this is what you're asking me, but you are, because I can read in your messages how awkward you feel and how abnormal you feel being a virgin, how behind you feel. And you guys seem so afraid of missing out on things and being weird and being seen differently just because you're not having sex. I just want to hug you. This, it hurts my heart. It really does. It just is oh man, it's so painful. And it hurts me because I was you. I've said a lot in videos before that I waited a really long time to lose my virginity. I was almost 21. I didn't even kiss anyone until I was 18. And even then it was spin the bottle at junior prom. We were such nerds. God forbid we drank or did anything reasonably edgy or cool. No, we played spin the bottle. We were 18. So maybe 17. Whoa. But when I was about 20, I realized I wanted to stay a virgin, make it count. But up until then, I was super tweaked about it because I felt so weird. I felt so behind. I felt so abnormal. I felt like I was wearing some giant sign that everyone could see. It's there's a virgin right there. And I was weirdly it was more awful for me to go so long without being kissed than it was not having sex, because when you're 18, 19 and you're a virgin, it seems really intentional. When you're 17 and haven't been kissed, doesn't seem so intentional. And it wasn't intentional. I probably would have been a bad girl and done drugs and drank and stuff, but nobody asked me. So I was student council president instead and on the honor roll. That's what I did. Now I'm so grateful for that. But at the time, it was my constant shame. I was ashamed. And it just, looking back, I really wish I could have just enjoyed those years. I wish I could have just enjoyed being young, enjoyed the fact that I wasn't paying rent and working and doing, and just stopped obsessing about really what did I think? Did I truly believe I was gonna die a virgin? I was gonna die never having been kissed and be some 35-year-old old maid that no guy has ever wanted to make out with? Really? Really? I don't know what I thought. I was just so focused on what I wasn't doing that literally nothing else I did accomplish mattered. Nothing mattered. Oh, I was student council president? Who fucking cares? I got in one of the best schools in California. So what? I was star of a play. Nobody cares. The only thing that I used to define myself was who have I dated, who have I hooked up with. That's it. That is it. That is the only metric I had for is Shallon happy? Is she okay? Is she normal? That's it. I don't know why I reduced all my personality, all my brains, my face, my hair, my body, my skin, everything I've accomplished, my sense of humor, my sense of empathy. All I was a hole. I was just a vagina. That's it. What's Shallon worth? This is what she's worth. This is it. This is all I am. If I'm not having this, I might as well not even exist. Doesn't that sound bad and wrong to you? It should, because it is bad and wrong. It's ridiculous. But when you define your life based on who you're having sex with, who's dated you, who's liked you, that's what you're doing. And I want you guys, if you feel weird about being a virgin, I want you to stand in the mirror and say, the only thing that matters about me is my pussy. I want you to try to say that without getting just disgusted, because it is disgusting and it's so ridiculous. Sometimes we have to verbalize these ridiculous things to really understand how ridiculous they are. And I want you to use the word pussy, because when you boil yourself down to just that, well, I mean, why not? Why not go say the C word or twat. Like, just get gross, because hey, that's all you are, right? You're just like this hole, this warm orifice that people are gonna stick things in, fingers, tongues, penises, whatever. You don't matter. It's ridiculous. So that's an exercise you can do. Another exercise you can do is ask yourself, like sit with yourself and think, really, how would my life be different if I was having sex right now? And I don't want you to picture having sex with a guy who loves me and just, we have this amazing relationship. No. I didn't say picture what it's like when you find love. I want you to picture what it's like if you go out, let some dude bone you, and you wake up the next day and it's like, well, I'm not a virgin. What? How is my life different? Are you suddenly imbued with all this confidence? Is every weak spot in your self-esteem suddenly healed up? Everything you felt weird about, gone. You're flawless. Your life has changed. No. I've talked in the past about what a hurt locker is. It's a name I give to a person or a scenario or an action, like an event, that we funnel all of our hopes and dreams into. Mine was this hockey player ex that I dated. And it took me 5 years to get over him because he was my hurt locker, because I felt so special dating him that I felt like I finally was as special as I had always wanted to be. So it wasn't even him that I was attached to. It was the idea of like, I'm finally special, because he was so famous. So you are probably making your vagina a hurt locker. That if you have sex, you are somehow stamped, approved by society. Boop, she exists now. Boop, a guy liked her enough to fuck her. She exists. Boop, she's worthy. That's not how it works. God, I wish it did. I'd be super worthy. Slept with a lot of people. I'd be super approved. But that's not how it works. You're gonna wake up the next day and all those fears are gonna be there and all those problems are gonna be there and everything you're afraid of is still gonna exist. And having sex is like suicide, you know? You can't take it back, but you can always do it tomorrow. So maybe wait. But what do guys think about girls who are virgins, you know? Like, this is another real thing. It's like, well, cool, maybe I'm okay with it, but I go out in the world and try to hook up and it's like, hey, she doesn't know what she's doing. Guys don't really think that way. I've almost never met a dude who's like young, you know, like under 21 or something, who's met a girl who's a virgin and who is like super weirded out. Like, if you're of like a normal age to be a virgin and you know other virgins, it's fine. Like, that's what they're expecting. Besides, as we've talked about before, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't in terms of how many people you slept with. Like, if you say 10, they're like, ooh. If you say 0, they're like, whoa. I'm sorry, who the fuck asked you what your opinion is? I'm so over this. I'm so over letting guys dictate our self-worth. Why? So because his like tiny little reptile brain can't conceptualize a woman might be confident and want to have sex, or she might be confident and know that, you know, she's not filling up her vagina with like random dick. Hey, there's a concept. Maybe she wants to wait. Maybe she knows her value and she doesn't want to just give it away to any fuckboy who's out there. Oh, that's a concept. Guys aren't judging your performance when you hook up. As long as you're not like physically hurting them, grabbing their eggplant too hard, biting their lips, sucking their lips really hard, you're like pretty good. And if you feel super inexperienced, talk to the guy. Be like, hey, what do you like? How do you like me to touch you? What do you like me to do? Sex is so much sexier when there's communication. Hooking up is the same way. Like, if you can't communicate with someone, I know it's like awkward. It doesn't have to be like dirty, like sex. Just be like, what do you like? Put my hand where you like it. Do that, you know? Do you like it softer? Yeah. Do you like it harder? Ooh. It becomes so much better because you're connecting. And if you feel like you can't say that with someone and like you can't connect, maybe you shouldn't be hooking up with them. Because the number one thing that is terrible for us to do in this world, in this life, is make a fear-based decision. I actually want to do a whole video on this because I realize how true it is. Like, the more I say it, the truer it gets. Fear-based decisions. People get married because they're afraid. They have sex too soon because they're afraid. They have a baby because they're afraid. They stay in a job they hate because they're afraid. Fear rules our lives if we let it. And every time we do something that we don't feel comfortable doing, it's the fear that's forcing us. And usually that fear boils down to, I'm going to be abnormal. This is a feeling we have it's almost like the very first feeling we have on the playground when we start to interact with other kids, like, wait, she's not talking to me, and it's like we start comparing ourselves when we're in like kindergarten to people, and we hold on to this fear. It's like deep within us, and we hold on to it for the rest of our lives, and it can rule our lives if we let it. So ask yourself, like, why do you think you need to have sex? Is it coming down to, I'm afraid I'm going to be blank. I'm afraid people are going to see me as blank, unlovable, weird, prudish, frigid, inexperienced. First of all, nobody cares. Nobody cares. A few months ago, I went to my sorority reunion, and I remember my college years as just being like so glaringly obvious that I was a virgin. I was the only virgin in my sorority. I was the only virgin here. I was the only virgin there. I was a virgin. And I remember bringing it up to one of my sorority sisters at dinner, and they were like, you were? Oh, I didn't know that. I was like, yes, you did. Everyone knew. And they're like, literally no one knew. It's because they didn't care. No one cared. I cared. And because I cared so much, I made it weird. Like if I just been like, whatever, I'm not sleeping with you. It's fine, whatever. I didn't have to be like, I'm a virgin and it's because I'm waiting and doing this. Like it didn't have to be this whole declaration. It was just a thing until it wasn't, until I decided I was ready, and then I wasn't a virgin anymore, and once again, no one cared. The earth kept on turning. You know what I always say? You wouldn't care so much what people think about you if you knew how seldom they did. And this goes for boys too. Guys don't really care. If anything, this is going to be such a good thing. This is a good thing. If you say, you know what, no, I haven't done it yet. I just haven't found a guy who I connect with in that way. And if that's a huge deal breaker for you, bye. Why would you do something you're not comfortable with to appease his weird, small ego? Sorry, I thought there was someone coming in. I was like, don't come in when I'm talking about virginity and vaginas. Now I lost my train of thought. Fear-based decisions. So get in touch with why you feel weird about this, and then truly let it go. It's like, okay, say people think I'm a prude. Are you? Probably not. You probably are a sexy sexual person. You're just not quite there yet. You're not quite ripe yet. That's fine. You can't compare where you are to other people. And I know that's so hard when you're young because you're in this like concentrated fishbowl. You can't get away from them. Sometimes you live with them, in the same dorm room, for God's sakes. But like everyone is maturing at such different rates when you're young. The difference between like 26 and even 36 is like not really that much. I mean, some people are married, some aren't, some have kids, some don't, whatever. Whatever. But the difference between like 16 and 19 is, enormous. It's enormous. You're completely different people. So don't compare where you are to someone else, because their reality, first of all, is not probably as rosy as they want to make it seem. Everyone's got their own issues. Everyone wants to make it seem like they're doing it right. Literally no one knows. And no one has to know. You don't have to know. So do what works for you. Feel okay with where you are. Don't waste this time in your life, because if you don't get a grip on this kind of fear-based decision making, it'll go on for the rest of your life. I'm serious. I did it and it ended in divorce. That's the ugly truth of it. And God Almighty, I don't wish that on anyone. Not on anyone. And that is when I realized how dangerous that kind of mindset is. And I'm never going to do it again. I hope. You guys are here to keep me accountable. If you enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe. There's going to be new videos every Friday. And if you have a love question of your own, download the Instant Go app. It's free, and find me on there. I'm Shallon XO, and submit a question to me. It's super easy. I will get back to you within 24 hours, guaranteed. And we can chit chat. We can form a little bond. We can bro out. We can gang. I'm sorry. I'll stop doing it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And follow me on social media, Twitter, Snap, and Insta at ShallonXO. Now go out there, girls, and don't have sex. Or do. Be a slut. Do whatever you want. I'm here for you.